Have you ever just stopped for a second and really looked at the world outside? I mean, from the tallest, biggest tree to the teeniest, tiniest little ant, our planet is absolutely buzzing with life. So today, we're going to go on a little adventure to explore this incredible variety. Ready to dive in?
Okay, just look at this picture. It's so full of life. You can see a cow just hanging out, birds flying up in the sky, a little butterfly checking out the flowers, and yep, even a fish swimming in the water. Every single one of these creatures, they're all part of this one big, amazing family of life.
I mean, think about it. A fish that swims is just so different from a bird that flies, right? And a big cow is nothing like a little frog. So come on, let's go on a little virtual nature walk together, and maybe we can figure out some of the secrets behind all this wonderful variety. So, for our first stop, let's just take a moment to appreciate all these wonders around us. Now, scientists have a special name for all this variety of life you see in one place. They call it biodiversity. I know, it sounds like a really big, sciencey word, but it just means all the different and amazing living things out there.
So imagine we're walking through a forest. You'd see these giant trees way up high, but also tiny little blades of grass right by your feet. You'd probably hear all sorts of birds, each with its own special song. And you'd definitely see colorful butterflies just dancing from one flower to the next. It's a world that's just jam-packed with different things to see and hear.
Wow, it's kind of a lot to take in, isn't it? When there are so many different things, how do you even start to understand them all? Well, it's kind of like how you sort your toys or your clothes. Scientists like to sort or group living things to make it all a little less confusing.
All right, let's start with the plants. Think about your school bag. You probably put your notebooks in one spot and your pencils in another, right? It just makes everything way easier to find. Well, scientists do the exact same thing with plants, so they're easier to study.
So one of the very first things scientists look at is a plant's size and what its stem is like. They ask simple questions like, is it tall, or is it short, or is its stem soft and green, or is it hard and woody? These simple clues are a really great place for us to start our detective work.
So check this out. We can put them into three main groups. First up, we've got herbs. These are short plants with green, soft stems, like a tomato plant. Then there are shrubs. They're kind of medium-sized with harder stems, like a rosebush. And finally, you have trees, super tall with thick, hard, woody trunks, like a mango tree. See? Not so complicated after all.
But wait, size and stems, that's just the beginning. If we want to be really good nature detectives, we've got to look for more clues. And two of the best places to look are right on a plant's leaves and hidden underground with its roots.
Okay, let's zoom in and look at the tiny little lines or veins on these leaves. See the one on the left? The veins spread out like a little net. But now look at the one on the right. Its veins run in straight lines, side by side, kind of like tiny train tracks. These patterns are another awesome clue for us.
Now, let's do a little digging and look at the roots. Some plants have one big main root that grows straight down. That's called a taproot, and a carrot is a perfect example of one. But other plants have tons of thin, kind of messy roots that spread out all over the place. We call those fibrous roots.
Okay, great job being a plant detective. Now, let's get back to our nature walk and switch our focus over to the animals. How in the world can we start to group all of them?
Well, have you ever just sat and watched how different animals get around? It's actually a really great way to group them. Birds use their wings to fly through the air, goats use their strong legs to walk and jump, fish use their fins to swim through the water, and ants use all their tiny legs to crawl pretty much anywhere they want.
And this is where things get really, really cool. So far, we've seen that plants and animals are different. But now we get to ask the biggest, most important question of all: why? Why is a camel that lives in a hot, sandy desert so completely different from, say, a bear that lives on a cold, snowy mountain?
Well, the answer to that big question starts with this one super important word: habitat. A habitat is just the natural home of a plant or an animal. It's that special place where it can find food, water, and shelter. You can kind of think of it as its address in the big, wide world. And it turns out, living things have all these special features to help them survive in their habitat. So take a look at these two camels. They look a little different, don't they? The camel that lives in the hot desert has one hump to store energy. But the camel from the cold desert, It has 2 humps to help it get through those long, cold winters when there's not much food around.
And we see the exact same thing with plants. A cactus in a super dry desert has a thick, fleshy stem to store lots of water. But a deodar tree on a snowy mountain has these sloping branches. You know why? It's so all that heavy snow can just slide right off, instead of breaking the branches. How smart is that?
And this brings us to our big aha moment. All of these amazing special features, the camel's humps, the cactus's watery stem, the tree's cone shape, they have a name. They're called adaptations. An adaptation is just a special feature that helps a plant or animal survive perfectly in its own special habitat. It's pretty incredible when you think about it. So we've seen just how much variety there is in the world, and we've learned that every living thing is specially built or adapted for its home. But why is all this so important? I mean, why should we care about protecting all of it?
Well, think about it like this. If a habitat is a home, what happens when that home gets damaged or destroyed? The plants and animals that live there, they can lose everything. Imagine losing your house, all your food, and your safest place, all at the same time.
And sadly, this is really happening to some of the world's most amazing animals. The beautiful Bengal tiger and the super-fast cheetah are both in danger, and it's mostly because their natural homes, their habitats, are disappearing. So when we talk about protecting all these different plants and animals, what we're really talking about is protecting their homes. Protecting biodiversity means we're making sure that every living creature has a safe place to live, find food, and raise a family. We're helping them not just survive, but to really thrive. Our virtual walk might be over, but you know what? The real adventure is right outside your door. The world is just filled with these amazing wonders. So the big question I'll leave you with is this: what's one small thing each of us can do to help protect them? Thanks for exploring with me today.